The Radio Television of Kosovo has recorded a documentary film, Baptism, which talks about the period in which our people saved the Jews in that time. From that time on, they've preserved the friendship who care for us in terms of the covenant, the promise of Berisha. So the movie was shot in Kosovo, in Israel. And to talk about this movie a bit more, in the morning show we have Ridvan Berisha, editor-in-chief of the third channel of Radio Television Kosovo and the executive producer of this film Baptism. Thank you for coming, Mr. Ridvan. It is a pleasure to have you. The morning shows have a good time generally. So, Ridvan, in New York there was a premiere showing of the movie, documentary film, in front of an influential audience in the US. How was this film received? This Tuesday we went there in the US, Director General of RTK, by Tuesday evening in one of the most renowned institute in New York. The documentary film was shown. To say it was good, it is too little. I know I am subjective, but the presence, the people there, the audience, the speeches held, three of the representatives, leaders of different religions, Rabbi Bob Kaplan, and a Catholic priest and a Muslim imam, the ambassador there, our ambassador there, and our diplomat Ines Demiri in that ceremony gave this showing this film an incredible dimension and brought it to the attention with this example of this film, a relationship that the Albanians had established by saving the Hebrews, by saving them and reflecting their own customary practice, which is the Berisha, the saving of the people. The Hebrews had asked for that aid, and the Albanians were the only ones to shelter them, to give them refuge. So during the World War II, Balkans, the whole region of Balkan was ruled by the Nazi, some parts by the Italians, but in those areas resided by Albanians, we've given them protection. So the example that is shown in the documentary, Shaul Gatenio, today, 78 years of age, we have tried to use his story together with our journalist Majlinda Kusumi, who was in our team, and the cameraman Mumin Yashari, also director of photography, and I've tried together with this team to give it a real sense, real meaning. Was it hard to find survivors? That is really the matter, because the Radio Television of Kosovo, from its beginning, pays much attention to cultural and religious diversity in Kosovo. We try our best, especially cultural, ethnic minorities, to address them in a special focus. In this case, the Jewish community in Kosovo. And knowing the history of our relationship with them, we had a more specific focus in my own personal need. This story is about one of my friends, an activist in Bet Israel Kosovo Foundation, related to the Jewish community in Kosovo and wider. And in a random conversation, Flori told me that there was this case, this person, and from that moment on, every coffee conversation was dealing with all the works and efforts and everything else. So talking to Flori, and then the Israeli embassy, Mr. Bambona, helped us a lot in finding the infrastructure, the areas, and everything else. And ultimately, since I'd like to extend my gratitude. Director General Mentor Shala was involved earlier, but in this case provided us with unreserved assistance in any operational or financial matters. We went to Israel and then to the US. Everything related to this documentary, including the costs, the illustrations, the scenes that were made by Mumin with known Kosovo Albanian actors, with the recounting of the stories. All this was done under the support of Mentor Shala, the Director General of RTK. What is worth mentioning is the influential crowd viewing the film, and already at the introduction they learned of its relevance. It was one of the important singers, Amir, and Flori with his friends found him there. We got his copyrights. So as in Kosovo that we would have patriotic songs, singers, this is the same person in Israel. So this gave it an ID of the Israeli population. So the saving, the rescuing of Shaul in Letnica. So let's talk about the idea of the film then. Why baptism? Letnica is a village. We have the Albanian people there and other communities. We just found this randomly, that Shaul Gatenio was saved in Letnica. And Letnica is the birthplace of the calling of the Mother Teresa. So in Letnica village, Letnica was the birthplace of the calling, and it is a great ID for Kosovo, and it gave it even more sense to the movie, to the film, and the values of the Albanian people, or the values it used to have in the past. So baptism, it's all about baptism, in fact. We've had stories of rescuing other Jews, as we will see in the documentary, that Jews, Hebrews, had to be named with Muslim names. Shaul, in this case, was given a Christian name for him to be rescued. And the purpose there was to rescue the person. The Baptist name, the title of baptism came out in a conversation we had with Mr. Shala. So everything was, he said that baptism was a good title, and we did agree. Was it difficult to have this documentary? Because a part of it was shot in Kosovo and then in Israel, and then the whole story. So there might be some background images there. These are professional images that we've created. These are our own actors that illustrate the hard journey of Shauli, his rescue, and then from Skopje to Letnica they had traveled for 3 days on a row. This is Shaul Gatenio. He is in tears while telling us the story. These are the illustrations that we've shot in Kosovo. The pathway from Skopje, current Macedonia, to Letnica village in Kosovo. This is the babysitter, the nanny. The whole family was executed, in fact. Shauli was in the list, but he was rescued. He was a survivor. And then Only when he got back after the World War II, he was relisted into a survivor. We had help from the Skopje Institute. The whole film, professionally, and editorship and everything else, was done in Kosovo. Valjeta, together with Mumin, Flori, we all traveled to Israel. We had another interview of an 80 years person, which is now a specific story. So he kept asking me about her peers at this school and that school. She came to Kosovo in summer last year, but we've heard fantastic stories, and this brings to the surface the traditions, the values of our people. So it could be good for them to be enlightened throughout the world. We have a good network of our embassies in the world, and we can provide for this excellent work. Ines Demiri, our diplomat in New York, she did the organization of all the events. So we may have similar events in other countries, not only in our relationship with the Jews, but the Kosovo's history, the tragedy that Kosovo went through, and to try and introduce, to present these stories before influential and important audiences. You did mention the trip to Israel. Was it interesting? How was it? Because Israel has not recognized the independence of Kosovo. Israel has not recognized, but it recognizes our passports. The impression there were narrations that Israel has traumas, and then the security situation and things like that are not really true. We went near the border, Palestine. There are some increased security personnel due to the circumstances, but generally, if you land at Tel Aviv, and if you travel around Tel Aviv, you do see a proper democracy, quite the civilization. Jerusalem is a sacred place in which almost all faiths have taken place. And then even the clothing is more conservative because of it being a sacred area. Over 2 million Arabs live there, 1.5 million with the right to vote. Why did you choose the U.S. to promote the film? We chose that because our Albanian lobby and then the Jewish lobby did a lot for Kosovo in our more recent history. Our freedom is very much interconnected with the U.S. We have a great representation of the Jewish lobby, and even today they still have influence on the Israeli authorities, and to distribute this work that we've done. And then an important lobby of our own, the Albanians there, and then the members of the Atlantic Battalion, which was heroic in our most recent war. Hari Bayraktari, rather known for us, and then there was attendance of the U.S. State Department even. We chose the U.S. because it is a symbol of our own freedom, a symbol of our own lobby there, and then the Jewish lobby. So a common denominator of support. Large support for us, and then today's Israel. Today we will have a premiere showing of the film at the RTK as well. Have you thought about showing the film elsewhere, also in Israel maybe? Yes, we do have that plan. Our compatriots, our colleagues, they are trying to find a place, a venue, to organize the showing of this documentary there. But we are also assuming another responsibility to record several other stories of the surviving Jews. Very emotional, but also fantastic, exceptional stories. Obviously, we have other duties at the RTK, so other documentaries will be done in the meantime. What I am clear about is that there is no hesitation from the Director General, and together with the U.S. Embassy and others, we will try to show this film and other documentaries on the tragedy survived by Albanians in Kosovo. There's a documentary by Ramize Murtezi about a seven-year-old dying from a rape by the Serbian regime at that time, the military forces. This is, again, to strive against the Serbian propaganda. So we are trying to record everything so as to not forget. Ridvan, then we come into minutes of other topics, but I'm sure that everything is summarized into the film. There are many people to thank. We've had different issues or barriers. What is good is that we have this work before us. And obviously, it could have been done better, but it is good, really. So I'm inviting all viewers at 2010. There will be a ceremony first shown with speeches of the rabbi there, the Albanian imam, and the Christian priest, Albanian Christian priest. So all these give the film other dimensions, proper sense of what we've presented. I'd like to extend gratitude to all of these, and Ines Demir specifically. Thank you very much for all the information, for being part of the morning show. Thank you very much for the invitation, and let's see this product together.